All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there we go. I think from my side, everything is sorted. Good afternoon and welcome back to another trading room, the Thursday afternoon trading room with TD Markets Academy. I go by the name of Tsepo. Compliments to the new season to all those I did not see. All right, compliment and welcome back. If you're joining us for the first time, please do subscribe to the channel. We do this every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. right? Every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. That is the live trading room, live analysis, whatever you want to call it. All right, welcome back everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for subscribing. And I think we're going to get started. All right, so we're just going to wait just a few seconds. We're going to give it just a few more seconds and we're going to dive in. All right, so I think let's get the session started. Right, details are on the chat right now. If you guys wanna open an account with us, our website is tdmarkets.com. Just have a look at the different account types we have for you. All right, that's our website, tdmarkets.com. Under account types, we've got different accounts that you can take advantage of. All right, we also have some education. All you need is to have an account with us, and then you can get access to our education. That is the TD Markets Academy. All right, and for any assistance, please do contact us at care@tdmarkets.com. It is on the chat right now, or you can use our hotline there on the chat. All right, I think it's gonna be a good session. We're gonna go over the charts. We're gonna see what happened and what to anticipate. All right, I mean, it's just the beginning of the year, second week or third week of January. We're gonna see what we can expect in maybe the first quarter of 2026. All right, looking back at what happened in the last quarter of 2025. All right, looking at our fundamentals, we don't have any economic reports for this hour. As you guys can see, at 3:30, that's when we have unemployment claims, the weekly unemployment claims. So you guys can maybe have a look at that. But for this hour, from 2 up until 3, we don't have any economic indicators. So this will be a pure technical analysis session. All right, I'm looking at the chat right now. Thank you guys for coming back. Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for coming back. It's always good to be here with you guys. All right, so yeah, so let's get it started, guys. Let's get it started like we always do, like I always do it. What are you watching, right? What are you keeping your eyes on? What is on your watch list? Maybe let's start there. What's on your watch list? I'm gonna share my watch list, but top of my watch list is gold. All right, so if you are looking at gold, if you are keeping an eye on gold, we are gonna go over gold. We are gonna go over Nasdaq. We are gonna go over Ethereum, Bitcoin, and I'm just gonna take you guys through my watch list. All right, so before we get on to that, what are you guys keeping an eye on? Maybe do let me know, type it on the chat, and then we'll have a conversation about that. All right. All right, let's see. USD JPY. Okay, we'll have a look at USD JPY. All right, we've got AUD JPY, Euro JPY. Now, in terms of the JPY, guys, the JPY, the yen is extremely weak. All right, the yen at the moment is extremely weak. So if you're looking at any yen pairs, that one you should be shorting the yen and longing something else. All right, the yen is extremely weak. So let's start with USD JPY. All right, let's start with USD JPY. The yen is weak, so we're anticipating the market to go back to this top. All right, we're anticipating price to go back up to that top. So at the moment, it's on the structure now, right? We can't ignore the structure. Anything can happen. Long term, we are still bullish, but anything can happen there, right? So I'm anticipating some more upside, but short term, we could easily see, and this is a possibility, right? We could easily see USD JPY attempting to test either this structure, attempting to test this structure, or even that structure, right? This is what we could see. So in terms of the overall structure, that remains bullish, okay? But we are now in a correction. So this correction, we could easily see this correction coming back to tap these structures before it continue pushing towards the upside. So which means this can also give you opportunity for some downside on the lower time frames. For instance, if you look at this 1 hour here, right? This 1 hour, a break below this could give us one more push towards the downside just to complete this correction before we continue pushing up. All right, there is an internal corrective structure there, right? So a break below that, this can go down and give us one more leg while it is creating a formation like this. This is going to be a bigger corrective structure, right? A bigger corrective structure. And then from there, we're anticipating price to go up. So this is what we can see USD JPY do. I'm looking for more upside on this, all right? I'm not interested in any downside. I'm looking for more upside. So all we need is for price to correct. That's all we're looking for now. Bit of correction and then a continuation up. So yeah, so on the 1 hour, the 4 hour and the 1 hour, keeping an eye on one more push down before I look for upside, right? We could get one more push down before we look for upside. So that is what we can see on USD JPY, right? So the JPY is weak. So things like your UJ, your GJ, the EJ, the CJ, those ones are extremely bullish, right? NJ, AJ, those ones are extremely bullish. We're gonna go over them. So UJ is this one, right? Now, if price don't give us this corrective pattern, right, what is gonna happen here, right? It's gonna resume trading towards the upside. So the possibilities here is we're gonna come back down one more time before we do this, or we can go all the way up. So obviously this is the move we are keeping an eye on. Any downside on this one is a possibility. It's a 50-50. It might happen, it might not happen. All right, so that is how we see USD JPY. Now AUD JPY, something similar. So AUD JPY, Euro JPY, something similar here. All right, if you look at AUD JPY, this one, it's even going up, right? It's extremely bullish. Weekends extremely bullish. All right, now nothing has changed on this one, guys. We're anticipating price to go back to this high. That is our target, that high. That is AUD JPY. Nothing has changed. So there is a continuation to the upside, actually, right? You will notice that price, okay, let me use the 4 hour, maybe the 8 hour. Okay, right. So what we're seeing here is price has come back to tap this zone again one more time, right? It has come back to tap this zone one more time. Now it's going up. So short term, according to this trend, it should be going back to this high short term. It should be going back to that high short term, right? But overall, we are looking at this going all the way up to that high there, right? That is overall. So short term, from a short term point of view, this is definitely coming back to this high. And then from there, if it continues trading up, then we know where it's going, all right? So the trend is extremely bullish. Whatever happens here, even if price tries to do this one more time, right? The dominant structure is bullish. So even if it does this, it will end up going up. It's just looking for a higher low at the moment. So question is this our higher low? If that's the case, then we going back to the high. You see that? If it tries to create another higher low, that's fine. We're still gonna go back to the high. If it tries to attempt another higher low, right? So AUD JPY still very much bullish. Still very much bullish. Very much bullish. And if you look at Euro Yen as well, let's go to it. Okay, I'm looking for that Euro Yen chart. Okay, it's fine. Let me open up a new one. So Euro Yen, the same thing. Same thing. Extremely bullish. It's correcting at the moment. All right. So let me look at the 8 hour. It's correcting at the moment, obviously coming back to tap this structure. Right? Coming back to tap the structure. So this one, it should be going back to this high unless the trend change. But since we are in a extremely bullish trend, a higher low is going to take us back to that high, a higher low. So we're just waiting for the higher low, right? We'll see whether it forms where price is. We'll see whether it forms here or somewhere there, right? But that's what we're looking for. So this is where now you're just going to apply your setups, look for your setups. But in terms of the direction, that's what we're looking for. So if you find your setup where price is, and obviously you trade those setups according to your rules, your strategy, so forth and so on, then definitely you can go for it, right? You can go for it. But yeah, this one still very much bullish, looking for a continuation back to there. So that is AUD JPY and Euro JPY. All right. Silver bullish as well. Here is silver, right? Here is silver. The last time we spoke about silver, we said this should be going up, right? Should be going up. It went up. It gave us a correction again. We said it should be going up. So now we've got a correction again that's forming, right? To us, silver is still very much bullish. So it's up to you whether you take advantage of the pullbacks, you take advantage of the retracements, or you take advantage of the continuation of the structure, because we are looking for just longs, right? Long-term buys, of course, on silver and gold. Short-term, yeah, there might be short-term sells in between, but long-term, we remain bullish. So this is what we see with silver. This is what we see on silver. So silver, looking at this correction here, there's a possibility that silver may give us a much bigger correction before we go up, right? If you look at the previous correction, you see how it got a little bit bigger before we go up, which it makes the opportunity good. So that's something we should be aware of. We might get something like that as well, where we see silver do this, but then it continues pushing towards the upside. That's a possibility. It would be good if it does this, because the risk and reward ratio is going to be bigger. It's going to be a good risk and reward ratio if it does that, right? But you will never know if it's going to happen. If it goes up from there, it's still okay, right? So these are the possibilities. There's a possibility before silver goes up, it may come back down to this low again, right? It may come back down to that low. So it could be an opportunity, short-term opportunity for some downside before it does that. It could do this, right? If not, then it's going to continue, because here's your higher low. It's going to continue towards the upside. You see how it is? So I'm just basing this off of this structure here. This structure. If you look at the structure carefully, right, the structure moves like this. You've got your impulse, and then you've got your correction here. Look at how big the correction is. So here, this is the impulse. So what's happening right now could be a part of the impulse. you see this could be a part of the impulse, meaning that the impulse is still forming to the upside, but within the impulse, you've got a retracement within the impulse. It is something like this. You see this here. It was a retracement within the impulse. All right. So it could be that, and later on, we get a correction and a continuation up, right? Or that is not a part of the impulse. It is just a correction, which means should give us a slightly bigger one and a continuation up. So hence I'm saying that there's a possibility we may see silver coming back and tap this low again to give us another low before it goes up. If not, then it's just going to continue going up. But as long as you understand the structure, how it is. The structure, how it is. All right. So yeah, so let's see what silver will do, but we are bullish. And then you've got Euro USD and USD CAD. All right. There's nothing on. Okay, let me go to Euro USD. So Euro USD, I'm waiting for a continuation up on Euro USD. Right? I'm waiting for a continuation up. So what I see here is, obviously I'm going with this structure, right? I'm trading this structure, not anything else but this structure. So if you're trading this structure, then definitely you would wait for this flag to break and then to go up, right? But now if you're trading the smaller time frames, which is this structure, you see, if I go to the 1 hour, you've got this structure on the 1 hour, right? So the 1 hour is going down, the daily is going up. So if you're trading the 1 hour structure, then this is your structure until it breaks out. I don't know which time frames you guys use, all right? But as long as you understand the structures from different time frames. So the 1 hour structure could continue doing this until it completes. And once it breaks, that means the daily structure is now in play. It is now in play. All right. So personally, I'm watching out for this. I'm watching out for a break and a continuation up back to that high. That's what I'm watching out for. But if you're trading the lower time frame structure, then this is your trend. That is your trend. All right. It has gone back down to the low though. It has gone back down to the low. So there is no setup, none whatsoever. It has gone back down to the low. Right. Yeah. There's no setup, none whatsoever. So I'm just watching out for a push up. So if it can just do this, wherever it's going to turn, if it can just break past, yeah, let me see this structure, right? If we can get a break above the structure, then this would give me a trade to the upside. So wherever it's going to create a low, if we can get a break above the structure, then I know it's time to go up. So I'm watching out for this structure. We'll see what happens. There might be another structure somewhere here. We'll see. Right. So that is Euro USD. I'm just waiting out for a continuation up. And USD CAD, it seems like USD CAD is going back to test this area. Right. So obviously short term, this retracement to continue pushing towards the upside short term. So let me go to the 4 hour. Yeah, on the 4 hour, short term for the market to continue pushing up, one more push down and a correction. So there's a possible correction that's forming there. So that correction coming back down one more time and then go back there. All right. I'm watching out for a sell on USD CAD. I'm watching out for a sell on USD CAD. But I can see that short term, we could go up one more time. So this would be an opportunity, right? I would definitely look at this opportunity. I would definitely look at this one. Definitely. Yeah, so with this correction here, let me zoom in. With this correction, we could get one more push down just to complete the correction and a continuation up right there. So that is Euro USD as well as USD CAD. And then you've got GBP JPY, which It is also extremely bullish, GBP, JPY, right? Obviously, I'm focusing on this daily structure. So the daily structure, that is where I get my bias, right? So when I look for my direction and my bias, I use the daily and the 8-hour chart for those. Daily 8-hour, I'm looking for my bias. Once I get my bias, then I know I'm done, I'm sorted. I know my direction. So with GBP, JPY, I remain bullish because of my daily structure bias, right? I would remain bullish, but now there's a correction forming. So I would wait for this correction. Right? And then trade the continuation back to this top. Trade the continuation back to the top. All right. Yeah, definitely. I would trade the continuation back to that top. So the things I would look at here, right? I would first wait for price to tap the structure first. To tap the structure first. Where it is right now, I wouldn't do anything, but I would wait for price to tap the structure, and then from there start to look for my setups. So where the market is, I wouldn't get my setups where the market is. All right. So yeah, so this one similar with CAD JPY, AUD JPY, USD JPY. It's correcting at the moment and looking for one more push to the upside. To the upside, right? As long as you find your setups, you are sorted. You are sorted. You are sorted. All right. So let's have a look at gold. Let's have a look at gold. All right. Gold is gone, guys. Gold is gone. Gold will continue going. Yeah, I would not look for sales on gold. I would just continue the current momentum. So it's gone, right? The last setup we had, which we discussed, was this one here for some upside. All right. So now we are waiting for new structure to form. We are waiting for, we don't really have new structure unless you go to the lower time frames, but we're waiting for new structure to form. And once the structure forms, then we're going to start to look for trading opportunities to the upside, right? So how it is right now, if you look at the 4-hour, and the 1 hour on gold, right? Depending on which time frames you trade, guys, you know, we don't trade the same time frames. Depending on which time frame you trade, if you go to the 1 hour and the 15 minutes, definitely there is a setup. There's a setup there, right? Now let me show you on the 15 minutes. Let me show you. Right. So on the M15, the setup would have easily been upon the break of this, because this was definitely a channel. When the market went down on the M15, it was moving in a channel. So definitely the break of that channel and this correction would have been a trade, right? We all know whether, either you take it as a breakout, because there are breakout traders, or you wait for a pullback before that. Doesn't matter. There would have been an opportunity there. All right. And so now look what's happening now. There is a correction that's forming. There's a correction that's forming now, right? Once this correction is done, then just follow the momentum. Follow the momentum. Follow the momentum. Boom. All right. Now, this is obviously on the M15, right? If I go to the 4-hour, on the 4-hour, I see the possibilities that gold may come back down to this low again. I see the possibility that gold may come back down to this 1 hour. Let me explain why. Why am I saying that? We are within a bullish structure, right? Within this bullish structure, we had a slight push down, and then we are currently pushing up. So now if this small correction, right, becomes, or it expands itself, then we're likely going to see gold coming back down to tap this low again, to look for some liquidity before it goes up. You see that? We are likely going to see that. It's a possibility. This is where now as a trader, you understand that it doesn't matter what the markets will do, right? As a trader, it doesn't matter what the market will do. All you need to do is to master how to react. To master how to react, right? So that is what we are showing in our TD Markets Academy. That is what we are trying to instill with the clients in the academy to say that it's a beginner's mistake to try and predict how the market should move. You see where we are right now. If you're anticipating the market to go up or to go down, it's a beginner's mistake to try and find exactly how it's going to move. It doesn't matter how it's going to move. What matters is, are you able to react from what price gives you? If the answer is yes, then that's a good one, right? So you must master how you react, because the market can do anything it wants to do. You are not in control. I am not in control of the markets. The only thing you are in control of, guys, as a trader is risk management. That's why you should not also be concerned about the perfect entry, right? There are no perfect entries in trading. The market can move immediately upon entry, but don't try and look for perfect entries. Your main concern should be managing your risk properly, having a good risk management system that is, you've tested it over and over, you've backtested it over and over and over again, and then you know when to start managing your trades, when to scale out, when to scale in. That's a risk management system. That's all you need. And then from there, you are sorted. Apply, just be consistent with your strategy, consistent, follow your rules, your setups, risk management on lock, and then you sort it. All right. So just a bit of hacks there, and yeah. So there's a possibility that gold may try to come back down here before it does that. If not, it will just continue according to what we saw on the M15, right? I'm waiting for this move, and I want gold to come back down here. In fact, in terms of the risk and reward ratio, I want gold to come back down here, because I know from here you might get a risk and reward ratio of 1 to 6, right? If it comes back down here, it could even be more than that, 1 to 8, 1 to 10. That's it, right? So yeah, so let's see what's going to happen, but we remain optimistic. Let me slightly go back to silver, right? Silver, you see silver now, I would love for silver to come back to this low again. I would love for silver to come back to this low again. Why? Because of the risk to reward. The risk and reward from here, it could easily be 1 to 10. Could easily be 1 to 10, right? Risk and reward ratio is another thing that is, if you apply it properly, if you understand it, you apply it, you will notice that it's going to guide you in terms of which entries to look for. Let me repeat that. Risk and reward ratio, it's something that if you understand it properly, you apply it properly, it will guide you as to which setups you must try and look for, right? You must try and look for, because we can all take a buy, for instance, on silver right now. We can all take a buy on silver and we can target that high. But the difference between you and someone else who does not take a trade there, it is not only because of the entry, the setup, it's because of risk and reward as well. So if someone missed a trade here and then they don't take a trade there, it's because of this. They are looking for a good risk and reward ratio according to their system, according to their plan, right? So think about it, guys. It's 2026. 2026, doing things differently. We're scaling up or scaling in, whatever. We're scaling up. We're doing things differently. We go to sports mode plus. We're just accelerating. Buckle up. Think of these things, guys, right? Risk and reward ratio. Anyway, so gold, we're pushing up. If you look at NASDAQ, my word, if you look at NASDAQ has just been creating setups after setups after setups after setups. Let me explain, right? There was a setup here, somewhere here, depending on obviously what you use. There was a setup there. There was another setup here. And another setup here, there, right? There was also another setup there, according to my setups, of course, right? And ultimately, the break of this as well, there was a setup, right? Either before or after. But there's just been setups upon setups upon setups. And why is that? It's because the daily cycle is not done. The daily structure cycle is not complete. We are likely going to see according to the cycle and the structure on the daily time frame, we're likely going to see NASDAQ going back to this top. So hence, it is creating these higher lows. Look at that, higher low, higher low, higher low. It is building momentum, building momentum, building momentum, right? So you've got these higher lows there. This should tell you a story. It should tell you a story there, right? We are building momentum towards the upside. If you look at S&P 500, I'll come back to NASDAQ. If you look at S&P 500, right, it's also going up, but the daily structure has already been hit. This was the daily cycle. Let me say daily cycle. The daily cycle has already been hit, right? That is S&P 500. If you look at US 30, the daily cycle has already been hit. Where's the daily cycle? It was this one here. It was this one. It's already been hit, right? We can also include this one. Now, the NASDAQ has not reached that high as yet. NASDAQ is lagging behind. So this is a situation where we use correlation as part of the strategy, all right? To say S&P 500, S&P 400, NASDAQ have already pushed up. German 30 also. But German 30 now, we'll just remove it from this equation. NASDAQ, it's still yet to go and complete the daily swing. So what does this mean? It means there's opportunity. There's plenty of opportunity here. Plenty of opportunity. It is building momentum. There's plenty of opportunity there. And that's it. That's it. So we're likely going to see NASDAQ back to that high, right? And then we'll talk about possibilities of what could happen there. Right. Bitcoin and Ethereum. My goodness. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let me go to Bitcoin. Anybody looking at Bitcoin, we spoke about Bitcoin. We said this zone is going to be extremely important, right? It's going to be extremely important. And look what's happening. There is some bullish momentum that has come in as a result of inflows. So on Fridays, we have a strictly crypto session on YouTube on Fridays. Strictly crypto session. If you're interested in crypto, learning how to trade crypto and all of that with our exchange, do join us Fridays at 2 p.m. We also have crypto education sessions, right, during the days. So we'll give you guys more details and information on that tomorrow, right? But we spoke about this possibility there, all right? Now, I'm not going to get too much into this because we're going to talk about it tomorrow, but there's a higher possibility chance that Bitcoin is going back to 1,000 or rather, not 1,000, $107,000. There's a possibility, right? A huge possibility that Bitcoin is going back to $107,000. $107,000. And if you look at Ethereum, there's a huge chance that it's going back to 3,800. At the moment, it's on 3,340. There's a huge possibility that it's going back to 3,308 or 3,820. Why is this the case? Let's talk tomorrow. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., Crypto Decrypted. What's this? The link is on YouTube. Just go under live. You'll see Crypto Decrypted. We'll talk more about the fundamentals behind crypto, what's been happening right now. But just to summarize everything quickly for you guys, all right? Remember, there's been a lot of manipulation. While the indicators are pointing to a bullish crypto, meaning to a bullish Bitcoin and Ethereum. Leave out the altcoins. While the indicators are pointing to a bullish Bitcoin and Ethereum, price has been going down. Why is that? It has been because of manipulation. The banks have been buying, the institutions have been buying. The reason for the manipulation is because of what we call whales, OG whales or crypto whales, which they have been rotating funds around. We know that we've got wallets, right? In crypto, there's something that's called wallet, right? Cold wallet, hot wallet, and whatever. So you are able to rotate funds around. You move it from Bitcoin, you take it somewhere else, move it from there, take it somewhere else. That's why there's a ledger. That's why there's a blockchain ledger where we are able to see these transactions. That's why also we are able to see sort of like what's the right word for this, man? There's a specific word for what I'm trying to say right now, but I'll remember it, right? Sort of like a public ledger. We are able to see, right? You've got your blockchain, we are able to see those things. So yeah, so we'll talk more about those things, but there's been a lot of manipulation. And when price on Ethereum came back here, right? We said that this price has the ability to cause problems in the market, right? Especially for this move down. So now look what's happening, right? So we are looking for a higher low and we are looking for this. This is our positioning, right? We are looking for this. This is how we position ourselves. A continuation, a long-term continuation on Ethereum, a long-term continuation on Bitcoin. There. So the question is this the start of that bullish run on Bitcoin? There's a possibility that there is a start of that, right? I think at the moment it's a little bit early to speculate on that. So let's just wait for more price action. But if this is our higher low, then look, you should be positioned for this move. You should be positioned for this move. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. All right. Oh, let me just drink water quickly, guys. Are you guys enjoying the session? Right. While I'm drinking water, do let me know on the chat with fire emojis. Are you guys enjoying? Are you getting some juices out of this? Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right. Cool. So let me take you guys through my watch list. So we spoke about gold, silver, NASDAQ, the cryptos. And then I've got Euro Yen, right? And then I've got Euro Yen. So with Euro Yen, excuse me. So with Euro Yen, I'm watching out for a continuation down on Euro Yen, right? Euro Yen is also in my watch list. I'm watching out for a continuation down on Euro. So meaning there's a correction forming. I'm watching out for one last push down, right? Which it could go all the way down. It could go all the way down. All right, could go all the way down. But I'm watching out for one more push towards the downside. All right. So if you look at the lower time frames, it's a bit of a mess at the moment. It's a bit of a mess at the moment because it's creating a corrective structure before we do this. Yeah, it's forming a corrective structure before we do that. So I'm keeping an eye on Euro Pound as well. All right. And then let me see. And then Pound Swiss, I'm watching out for the continuation of this whole move, right? So I'm watching out for a continuation down on this one. This is just a continuation of the current trend. So currently we are in a downtrend, and I'm using my Fibonacci just to track how far the correction can go, right? So at the moment on the weekly time frame, we are seeing a bit of retest, a bit of rejection on the 50, right? On the weekly time frame. The daily time frame, we are seeing a bit of rejection as well. Look at these weeks towards the upside. Look at that, right? This rejection is taking place where? On the 50 of the Fibonacci. So I'm watching out for a continuation down, right? Once we get that lower high, we are going to get a similar move like this one here. You see how there was a lower high there. The market formed a lower low. There was a lower high. So I'm watching out for a move like this. A big move like this, right? We've got a lower low. All we need is a lower high. On these FIB areas, that's where I'm watching out for that lower high to form. All right. And then from there, looking for the continuation down. So that's going to be a really good one. It's going to be a really, really, really good one. About 400 pips plus minus. It's going to be a really good one. So pound Swiss, that is what I have on my watch list. All right. And then I don't have much at the moment. So pound Swiss, I'm not really looking at Euro NZD, all right, but I might look at it. Euro NZD, what do we see on Euro NZD? Now let me show you. Now Euro NZD, it has come back to this zone now. It has come back to this zone. I'm going to use this box. So what happened in this box? The market went back to the box, right? We got a new higher high and then price fell. Same thing is happening again. The market has gone back to the previous high. Once we get a higher high, we're likely going to get a drop. And that drop could be something like this. It could be like it could take the whole year even. It could take the whole year, right? Now, we're looking at this based off this structure. Purely this structure, how this structure is moving, right? So there's a reason, guys. There's a reason why. Let me quickly explain before we come back here. There's a reason why you will see a trend, a simple trend moving like this, and then another one moving like this, and then another one moving like this, right? This is the same trend. It's an uptrend, right? But I can tell you that in terms of the wave patterns, yes, this is the uptrend, but it's creating different wave patterns. It's creating different behaviors. So trend number 1 is behaving differently to trend number 2, differently to trend number 3, right? And why is that? Trend number 1 is so aggressive that it gives you shallow pullbacks. Shallow pullback. So every time it pulls back, it pulls back. It's very shallow. So now it makes it a little bit difficult for you to catch buys. It's a little bit difficult for you to catch buys because of the shallow pullbacks. Now trend number 2, this is what it does, right? Before it continues, it goes back to test the previous structure. Test previous structure. Test previous structure. You see trend number 2. Now this is the best, what I would say a trend that you can trade, and the best trading trend basically is the best one, right? Because it doesn't give you shallow pullbacks. It gives you proper corrections. It tests structure, then it flies. Does the same thing, then it flies. And then you've got number 3, where instead of doing what 1 and 2 did, it gives you patterns. It gives you patterns, right? A simple trend that gives you patterns. So now, what I'm showing you on Euro NZD is something like this. Something like this, where looking at the nature of the pullbacks, the nature of the corrections, you will then notice how it has been moving, right? Let's go back to it. So it started down here, right? Now look at how huge this correction was. Look at how huge this correction was. And all of them, they started forming after a higher high formed. So the market first broke the previous significant high. It formed a new higher high and then gave us this huge one. Not once, but you also see it here. So look at where the market is now. Look at where the market is now. It can still go slightly towards the upside on the lower time frames, but this move towards the downside is something we can see form on that, in this, right? We could see a reversal of the lower time frame trends, but on the weekly, it is not a reversal, it's a correction. Just like how this looked like it was a reversal, but it's a correction of the bigger structure. All right, so I'm saying this to say the following, that if you go to the lower time frames, like the daily time frame, right? Look at what the daily time frame is doing. Let me just fix this. There we go. Let me remove this. Right. Look at what the daily time frame is doing. The daily time frame, still within the bullish structure, is giving us a bearish continuation. A bearish continuation. You've got your impulse, you've got your flag, your flat pattern, and one more push down. The question is this move to the downside, is this going to start that bigger correction we spoke about? That is the question. Because if that happens, we're going to see something like this. We're going to see a completely new downtrend like this. A complete new downtrend like this. Now imagine you catch it there, you ride it all the way down. You keep scaling in, scaling out, scaling in, scaling out, right? But you're holding. It hits 2,000 pips. You're holding, scaling in, out in the process, but you're holding that one trade. You see that? So these are the possibilities, right? We are looking at on Euro NZD, right? But we're going to take it piece by piece, price action by price action, right? So for now, the piece we are talking about on Euro NZD is this piece for now. One more push, only this piece, and then we'll come back and see if this piece of price action has changed or not. Right? So have a look at these things, right? Each and every week, of course, we're going to keep breaking them down to you, right? Make sure that, you add layers to this. You add layers. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how the markets are looking so far. All right. I'm keeping my eyes on the commodities. I'm keeping my eyes on oil, the Venezuela crisis. We spoke about that in our opening bell, the Venezuela crisis. Oil has been reacting to that crisis, and looking at the current structure on oil, looking at the current price action on oil, we're anticipating oil to go a little bit more towards the upside. We're anticipating oil to give us one more push towards the upside. All we need is a correction for that. If we can see a correction on oil on the 4-hour daily, a correction, then oil will definitely push back to $62 per barrel, even break below $62 per barrel. That is US oil, all right? So if we can see this, then definitely we're going to get a move towards the upside. Anything different from that, we'll see it as it goes, all right? So UK oil, the same thing. UK oil, if it gives us a correction here, something similar to this one, right? We're likely going to see it going back, maybe trying to hit 67. Likely going to see something like that. All right, so I'm keeping my eyes on the commodities. They are moving, they are volatile because of what's happening around the world, geopolitical events. So yeah, so let's keep an eye, guys. Let's keep an eye. All right. Great stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm glad you are learning. I went over the analysis. Keep an eye on your setups. The market is moving in the direction you spoke about. Keep an eye on your setups. Once you find your setups, then react, right? But from my side, this is where I'm gonna end it for today. Tomorrow, we've got the crypto one. We're gonna talk a little bit more about crypto tomorrow. So keep an eye on that, right? Guys, have a good one. Enjoy yourselves. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Cheers, everyone.